Hi everybody, welcome to day one of Steph's Take, a live stream series where I feature concepts from two books through the lens of the accountability evangelist. Let's get started. Okay, first up is On Becoming a Servant Leader, which is based on the private writings of Robert Greenleaf and edited by Don Frick and Larry Spears. So I want to read to you a brief quote here, which I think anchors the entire book and the concept of servant leadership, which is, everything begins with conscious choice by an individual who wishes to serve first. So it tells us that servant leadership is a decision. It's a path, it's not a destination. And that's one of the things I really love about it and why I'm so passionate, some would say, obsessed about accountability. And it's tied to servant leadership because it means that you're doing things in order to serve others, not just to serve yourself. So one of the concepts in this book that I really thought was interesting was Greenleaf's definition of strength. So let me read it to you in his own words. Strength is the ability to see enough choices of aims, to choose the right aim, and to pursue that aim responsibly over a long period of time. So I read that as continuous improvement, and I think that Greenleaf would as well. And he goes on to talk about strength in the context of the obligation to serve. So I'll read a little bit more here, and then we'll talk about it and segue to the next book. The people with the greater capacity and the greater want have the obligation to develop superior strength and use it for the general good. The ethical obligation is on those who have the capacity for strength to develop it and to use it to create the shelter for those who need that shelter to make their contribution. I just love that because what it tells you is if you are called to serve and give your gift to the world, by doing that you enable others to give their gift. Because not everybody's as confident as you or feels as capable as you, but if you're able to step up and give them that shelter, show them there's a path, make them comfortable to step into their light. Without doing that, they may never step forward. And I just think that's so powerful. So in order to do that, you really have to have a passion for lifelong learning. So in order to do that, it's really helpful if you have a growth mindset. So let's transition to that book now. So Mindset by Dweck is the second book I'm going to feature today. So the main concept of growth versus fixed mindset is, what is your definition of the opposite of success? If you think that failure is the opposite, then you probably have a fixed mindset. Now, maybe you should think for a second about what would a growth mindset person think the opposite of failure is. Well, according to Mindset, and maybe you guessed it, it's learning. All right, so interestingly, I actually didn't know until I read this book, or didn't realize until I read this book, that you could actually change your mindset. Before we get to that, let me just read a little bit from this book. This growth mindset is based on the belief that your basic qualities are things you can cultivate through your efforts. Everyone can change and grow through application and experience. So you may have heard the debate that people have had about whether leaders are born or made. And I've engaged in that debate before. And interestingly, when I was growing up, I was a high achiever, as some of you know. And I didn't realize until after, well, actually many years, in fact, almost really about a couple years ago, it hit me that all the major accomplishments in my life, be it in basketball, or getting straight A's in school, or being very accomplished in my workplace, or serving my community, for the longest time I thought I had a gift. And I do think that's still true to some extent, but what I realized is the reason I was able to be so successful is because of hard work. When I unpack all of those things I just mentioned, for example, basketball, the one summer before freshman year, I think, I spent literally hours a day on the court. I loved it, and I played for 6 or 7 hours a day playing basketball. And how do you not get better by doing that? So, and that's what happened. I got better, and then I better and better, and as I got better, I enjoyed it more, and I kept going, and I just loved it. And it was wonderful, but I never thought of it until I was an adult, well past high school, that the reason I actually did so well was because of a growth mindset and because of hard work. So people with a growth mindset tend to put the work in. And they also don't see failure, failure is a funny word, right? Because they don't characterize it that way. But again, we'll say the opposite of success. When you have the opposite of success with a growth mindset, you don't get upset about it you're terrible, or you're a bad person, or you're never going to get it. You're thinking, oh man, that's a bummer. I guess I'm going to have to figure this out or try harder next time. It doesn't mean that you're always chipper about it, or you always are in a good mood when you make a mistake or you don't get something the first time. It just means you keep going. And in my lifetime, I can confess to you that when I was younger, I had a fixed mindset. I didn't know that at the time. But I used to say this, I used to get pretty ticked off when I didn't get things right away. And when I was probably in my 20s, I would say this phrase, I don't do stuff I'm not good at. And it's true. As soon as I started something, a new hobby, a new task that I didn't pick up right away, I just wouldn't bother with it. I stuck with the things I thought I was really good at. But over time, as I got to studying mindset and other books about learning and improvement and leadership, I really got jazzed up by opening myself up to learning new things. And then before you knew it, my mindset had changed. And that has made such a huge difference in my life, and especially in my career, and in how I guide other people to live their lives. So I highly recommend embracing the growth mindset, but also don't get discouraged if your mindset is fixed or you think that it is based on those definitions. You can change, and that's the irony of it, is a fixed mindset person doesn't think that they can change, but a growth mindset person knows that you can. So take heart. If you tend to take offense to things or give up too easily, you can change. That means that leaders are made, and you are a leader in your space. So give it a shot. So I'm just taking a look at my outline that I put together. I think I covered most of the concepts I wanted to cover today, but I'll just close with kind of pairing the two books together. So servant leadership and growth mindset are complementary journeys that accountable people embrace. Embracing means you wholeheartedly agree with the principle and you actually enjoy living it. So I enjoy accountability. And why is that? Well, because it gives you limitless possibilities to make an impact in the world. And that is just so exciting. So I hope you enjoyed day 1 of the live stream series. I'll see you next time. That's it for now.